Your next memory is out there. It might be a small one or a giant leap. Maybe it's a memory of you alone, or one with him or them. It could feel like magic, or it might just warm your heart.
That look is a look that can only happen by a roaring fire at a Verbo cabin.
Check.
Yo, so this is Malcolm. I'm here with Sam, and we are kicking off the 614-day live stream from the AT&T studio. We are here on behalf of ETC. We're going to be here for the first hour. So first and foremost, thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you for having me.
Sitting here with me.
It's been a while, actually.
It's been a long while.
It's been a little while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reason why I wanted you to come and help me kick off this.
Yeah.
Because outside is like officially back open. I
Yeah.
feel like we talked for a long time
Right.
about outside coming back open, and it's here now.
Yeah.
You know.
It's here in a big way, too.
Yeah.
Things are I think things are progressing a little faster than anybody thought.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, for me, it's a huge element of like, all right, we were preparing for this moment,
Right.
but we thought that we had longer. And
Yeah.
so it's like everything is happening at once. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like-
as soon as the announcement came, it was just like, oh, wow, they're going to reopen. And then it was like, oh, no, they're going to reopen. And
Yeah,
still
yeah.
so much. Yeah, it was weird. Like, everybody couldn't wait for it to come back, but then you were still banking on the extra time or, like, being in the weird little limbo zone.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing.
I don't know. I think that you're in a very rare class because you were one of the people that never stopped creating
Yeah.
during the pandemic, and I think that that's put you in a unique position.
Right.
Some people, they're coming out of the pandemic and they're kind of like scrambling. Other people, like, they kind of leveled up over the pandemic, and I
Yeah.
put you in the latter class.
Yeah,
personally.
well, I appreciate that, number one. Definitely wasn't easy, and it's also kind of a weird thing. Just the sentence in and of itself, it's like, yeah, you really came up during the pandemic. And
Yeah.
it's just like that sentence is kind of a weird statement that I never thought I'd have to make
Uh-huh.
during my career or whatever. But it was definitely difficult. There was definitely a lot of, I mean, you saw how it was. Everybody had an opinion one way or another about when you should be throwing shows, how you should throw them, how safe they actually were. Stuff like that. So now that we're kind of out of that mode of things, and I think people are getting back to just straight up creating and building, I think that's in a much more, it's a much better state to be in right now.
Yeah, and one thing that like I really want to appreciate and acknowledge about you, like I said, I haven't really talked to you in a while,
Yeah, it's been
so
a while.
I want to
Keep it
kind of
coming, dude. I love your compliments.
yeah, I want to
I'm
give
all
you
for
your
it.
flowers. Normally, I'm like harassing you and everything, but
This
this
is a different Malcolm. I need to go away for 9 months more often.
I grew up a lot over the pandemic as well. Did a lot of maturing and evolving. Like, I really feel like I'm
Yeah.
the best version of myself that I've ever been.
Yeah.
Both as an entrepreneur, as a team runner, as a ideologist, and a creative, and an organizer.
I will say, I think you've always had this kind of energy because I've always known you to be a father, but you are bringing way more dad energy into your jobs.
Yeah.
And stuff now. You know what I mean?
Honestly, what it is is that over the pandemic, I got a dad gut. You feel me? I'm like, all right, if I'm a
Right.
walk like a dad, I got to talk like
Yeah,
a dad
yeah.
too.
But it's important though.
Nah, I'm just joking. But no, like, all right, real quickly about that. I wear multiple hats. That hasn't changed.
Yes.
But I am like the director over the Fatherhood Initiative now.
Yeah.
At the African American Male Wellness Agency. I just found out, bruh, that 73% of black kids don't go to kindergarten ready for kindergarten. Like, that's like, alarming isn't even the word for it. Like,
Right.
to be kindergarten ready, all that means is that you can count to 20, or that
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
your ABCs and you can identify shapes and colors and stuff.
Right.
Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the solutions, there's multiple solutions, but one of them, one of the ones that we're taking at my agency is that we're encouraging dads. We want to change the way that people look at fatherhood. We want it to be something that it's cool to be a dad. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So,
For sure.
yeah, that's definitely something that I'm doing a lot of now. But even beyond that, because, all right, so for the first time, I feel like ever since you've known me, I have a daytime job now.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Which is crazy because I
When you
got
told me
hired
that,
over
was
the
wild. I was just like, whoa, wait, where are you working?
yeah, and I got hired over the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
nuts in and of itself. But also, right before we went into the pandemic, ETC was gearing up. We were about to, like, really take
Yeah.
off and take flight. And obviously, Corona put a pause to all of that.
A little
Like,
bit of one, yeah.
yeah, we had to kind of readjust and realign everything that we're doing. And I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of hesitation and a lot of questions like, yo, is this something that we should just, like, punt on and and not even try to work on anymore, or
Yeah.
is it something that I don't know, like we should double down on and just retool and recalibrate
Yeah.
and try to address the mission? And I feel like we fell a lot more in the latter category. And to me personally, I feel like that has put us in a position to be greater than we ever were.
I mean, someone said, I forget who it was, but like ultimately change is never bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, from my perspective, I had all my plans and schemes before COVID that I thought were going to be the thing. And then like the one curveball that could have been thrown that I wasn't thinking of, like literally a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah, you can't bring people
You know,
together.
yeah, it's just like it's the one literal thing.
If your job is to bring people together and you can't bring people together, like what do you do?
That was my job. So yeah, it was definitely tricky, but you know, you have to take things as they come, and you have to accept the world as it is to some degree, or at least accept the things that are out of your control in it. And but it was cool that it kind of deaded everybody's plans, because now everyone's new plans have this whole different perspective in it of what can go away, how things can go away, you know, what can happen to our society, how we can bounce back and readjust into things, how adaptable our society actually is. You know, so I think that everyone stepping into new creative projects with that kind of awareness now is a very good thing.
I think that more than anything, the pandemic, it kind of showed like who. I want to be careful when I say this, but it revealed that there's a trait in some people that like there's just this relentless creativity that you're going to innovate out of it. And I think that before the pandemic hit, that there was a lot of, I mean, for lack of a better word, laziness.
Yeah.
Because some things were just automatic. It's like, all right, if I do this on this day, then it's automatic. It's going to happen because, you know, this is what people want and this is what they need or whatever.
Yeah.
And to your point, when that gets taken away from you, then, all right, what do you do now?
Well, and also I think a lot of it has to do with how many of the people were out here creating, but they were because it was socially easy to do so. And I think
that's what I mean.
A lot of the social game got revealed as to why people are out here, and then you realize a lot of people that are quote-unquote creatives are really only creatives when their friends are looking or when their friends are around. And so once the social game kind of got taken away, you kind of got to see what everyone's really in it for. And, you know, I don't think any one kind of art is more valid than another. If you're expressing yourself, you're expressing yourself, period. But, you know, I think the people that really got revealed are the ones that were interested in more infrastructural change.
Yeah.
And not even making the thing, but making the road smoother for the person who makes the thing. You know, I think it was really time for people like that to step up during COVID and kind of like see some of the systems that had been dismantled already or the ones that we're dismantling before our eyes, and then figure out what the next move is and how we're going to implement that going forward. Because also, like, a year is a long time, and now there are more in every art sector that I'm in right now, in film, in comedy, in music, all of that. There are more new people than I've ever seen in 1 year's time that are just like, people just were sitting around, and then they saw how finite things were, and I think people just decided, like, you know, I'm going for it.
Right.
And so
it's a brave new world now. And
really
that's the
is.
reason why I wanted to have this conversation to kind of kick off 614 Day, because this is our 7th year doing 614 Day.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's our 7th year. And a lot of things don't last 7 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just think that it's real important that.
So wait, first one was 2015?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yep. The first one I was a part of was 2016, and they had one the year before me.
Okay, I see.
And I think that it's real important that as the world opens back up, that everybody understands that we're entering into a new society. And that just requires imagination. It requires creativity across the board. You know what I mean?
And it also requires leadership, though.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I will say currently concerns me the most about Columbus and the state we're in is kind of a lack of leadership across all sectors.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, leadership isn't just, you know, ranting on the internet as like I would
It's not?
love. Yeah, right? Yeah, don't let us know.
Right.
But no, I just think
What about tweeting?
At some point, yeah, it's never tweeting. It's literally
never
tweeting.
tweeting.
Many people have proven that, I think, over the past couple of years.
I don't know. I feel like I proved the opposite, but I digress. Go ahead. I'm interrupting
all
you.
I'm saying is neither one of us have ever been afraid to be disliked.
Yeah.
And I think that there was, you know, people are afraid of the sort of collective opinions now. It's never in human history has it been possible for a regular person to like make a mistake and then a bunch of people are talking about it. You know what I mean? Whether they know them or not. And so I think it makes people hesitant to speak up. I think it makes people hesitant to really go out and take a stand, because also there's this mindset of like, you know, Columbus is still the tiny little small town, and if you make this person mad, well, these people aren't really going to work with you and whatever. And I think that type of stuff is a hindrance to leadership.
Yeah.
That type of stuff, that mentality is a hindrance to someone being able to kind of rise up from it and tell people like, hey, this is the way I think it should go.
Yeah.
And take that risk for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also worry about kind of like brain drain problems. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
You know, I've always thought that Columbus is a art city and not an entertainment city. And like, I'm in the entertainment business, but I think Columbus is one of the greatest incubators for artists in the country, I think, as far as the city.
Right. We're a prove-it town. That's what I like to say about Columbus, is that we are a prove-it city.
Yeah.
You can't do anything here without proving to people that, number one, you deserve the stage, and you deserve their attention, and that you have something worth offering. So.
Yeah. But I also think a lot of times people get tired of reproving it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I talk to a lot of artists, and, you know, it's a common thing once you're 10, 20 years into something, but it's hard to realize at first. But, like, every 3 years or every so often, you're going to kind of need to rebuild your fan base from the ground up. Yeah. And I say fan base, I just mean your general audience or sort of network or core people that you work with and make stuff happen with. You're going to have to recycle that. And it's going to look different year after year and stuff. Because I don't think your career should look exactly the same year after year.
Yeah.
But I think some people get trapped in the feedback loop of thinking they have to keep reproving themselves to Columbus. And if Columbus, messes with me, then I'll be able to take it further elsewhere. But it's like sometimes I'm interested, now in I want the people my age to start leaving Columbus.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't.
I want the.
But I respect that you do.
Yeah, I want younger people to have room. You know, I want them to have room on the stages, to have room in the podcast studios and all that, you know?
I have a slightly different take than that, because you spoke about how like people don't want to reprove it and so on and so forth. Yeah. I think that this gap, this year that, we quote unquote lost, it showed and it proved that a lot of the things that happen here in the city, like, it's not truly something that anybody can just do.
Right.
And I mean, there is a actual specialized skill set and everything with it. And one thing I've been seeing a lot lately over the last couple of weeks is, we're losing recipes. And it's like, we need to have a middle class and an upper class,
right?
Even just of skill set. You feel me? Of people that have talent, experience, that are grooming the next wave, and then are also mentoring like the novices, the people that are just like starting to cut their teeth and whatnot. And I think that more than anything, I agree with you with there being like a void maybe in leadership. That means that the people that was leader before the pandemic happened, that they can't really just abandon their posts. Like, they have to come back or whatever, because when they go away, then nothing else replaces it. Like, this is a real concern of mine, and I'm not trying to self-aggrandize at all or like, bathe in my ego, but it kind of bothers me that before I took over Flypaper, like, Yogi, he laid it down for a while, and like nobody else came up until like I came, right? And then when I sat down and I was like, all right, I'm not really doing like music journalism or local journalism and stuff right now, then nobody else filled that space either.
Yeah.
Like, to this day, there's no like equivalent to what Flypaper was when it was active and it was
music journalism is in a terrible place in Columbus right now. I will definitely say that.
And it's not just like the journalism, is the show throwings, the curators, it's the parties, like there is a specialty of people and whatnot.
Well, the one thing I'll say too is as far as people being there to mentor, that is important, but a lot of times I've just seen sometimes institutions kind of calcify and get very, very set in their ways. And sometimes it is good for the younger people to kind of carve their own path, but then that sort of creates a sort of jaded feelings sometimes, and they don't feel as connected, or they kind of have a chip on their shoulder coming up saying like, well, nobody ever, helped me out and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, to a certain degree, you kind of have to break the cycle with stuff like that.
I'm so excited about this new era of Columbus. Like, I really am like, I think that it's going to be like post-COVID. You know what I'm saying? PC. Well, and I think that anybody that does set the tone post-COVID, it's also your responsibility not just to create and curate like spaces and opportunity and make sure that you document history and archiving, but also to reach back and to do your research actively and make sure that you're talking to the people that came before you and bridging that the past to the current and everything, and then also create an opportunity for the next generation to come even after you. And that's where like legacy and longevity, like when I first, this is back in 2016, when I first took over Flypaper, one thing that I realized is that, like, I'm from Columbus, right? And born and raised here. And growing up, nobody wanted to be from Columbus. People want to be from Atlanta. They want to be from New York, want to be from Chicago, L.A., like all the big cities that you hear about. And really and truly, the thing is that people just knew the stories from those cities. Yogi, he actually took me to New York for my first time as an adult a couple years ago, and I remember like driving around and like I see like Marcy and I see like street signs and things I've heard about, or like I see that movie was made here, or this TV show was shot here, and it's like the reason why I love this city, New York, is because I know New York. I know all of his stories. I know all of his tales, and I think that we have the opportunity for that same love affair here in Columbus, as long as we're preserving our history and we're actively creating and keeping it going and whatnot. And I hope that people feel that charge to just take care of this place, I
think a lot of it, too, comes from, in entertainment or kind of business sense, we're a smaller market city, or at least we've always been looked at that way. But, like, I remember in high school, when the first kind of, it really wasn't the first, but the big Houston wave happened. You know what I mean? When Lil Flip and Slim Thug and UGK came back.
You just took it back to 2005.
Yeah, that whole real, because that in early 2000s hip-hop, too, things were hyper-geographic. Like, people couldn't wait to figure out what the next city, what the next sound was. That's when Hyphy kind of blew up on a national level after that. But seeing Houston and now what kind of a Houston, or what kind of a city Houston is now in terms of its relevance to the genre, like, Houston is a major market city. Like, there are people moving there to do music. And so, in 10 years, 15 years, I see Columbus's population being close to double what it is now. And so, like, Columbus isn't shrinking. It's houses sell faster and about $40,000 more here than they do anywhere else in the country right now. So that means people are moving here and they want to move here fast. And so, but we don't, this is my theory too, we don't have any hills in Columbus, so we don't have any view of the whole city. So we always just think it's a small town. People just see block to block here.
That's interesting.
But, like, man,
that's really interesting.
I spent some time in Cincinnati, and, like, you can see all of Cincinnati from anywhere in Cincinnati. And it's just because of the hills. And so it's like people still think this is a small-town city, and it's the biggest city in Ohio. We've got more population here than anyone, and so we have the infrastructure here artistically and stuff like that as well. And so I think really what it is people not holding on to their spaces so tightly too. Everyone loves when they build their little thing, but it becomes hard to pass it off. But like you said, you wish there was somebody there to take over Flypaper. You wish that there was somebody to do the job. But that's the scary thing about a not major market city, is sometimes you're the only person.
Well, that's
sometimes it's all on your shoulders and it's all up to you.
I don't know if I wish it anymore. I used to wish it. Before the pandemic, that's what I wish. Coming out of the pandemic, that's not what I wish anymore. Now, it's more like, all right, I feel a responsibility as somebody that God has given gifts and talent and creativity to use those gifts responsibly. And to do the things that, like, I'm gifted to do. And not, like, it's almost, it's a selfish thing. To say, all right, I want somebody else to come and do something that I'm equipped to do, instead of, like, feeling that responsibility to the city or whatever. Like, all right, this is something that I owe you or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that last year there were so many platitudes that were offered. There was so many just general statements that were given. And one of the biggest ones here in Ohio is, like, come together, Ohio. Like, all right, I get it.
What does that mean?
Right.
What does that actually mean?
and I'm a big proponent of let's actually live in that. Like let's step and let's walk in that. And if you want to live a lifestyle where, like we're talking about, come together, there's no room for selfishness.
Yeah.
You know, it can't be about any one single person. It can't be about winning over anybody else. It's about what is the best thing that you can offer that's going to service the entire community. Because, I mean, again, just talking about things that we learned from the pandemic, we learned that so many things that we did before, the way that we operated, it didn't work.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It wasn't working, and that was the best part about the pandemic is the things it illuminated and the problems that, you know, not just smaller scale communities like the Columbus art community or whatever you want to call it, but our society in general.
And society
in
general.
It just cracked open so many conversations that were so hard to have. But now like that's the exciting thing to me is like wages is right out front now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Minimum wage conversation, universal basic income, all that stuff's right out front being talked about. And all of that stuff has a huge impact on the art community as well. And so it's like the message I'm just trying to get out to people, and it's still why I'm just so glad something like ETC exists, because it goes back to what you were saying about archiving it, making sure there is a written history to some degree, organizing it to some degree. But there's never been a easier time in the music business or entertainment business or art business in Columbus to find a job.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it. During the pandemic, it was hard for everybody financially in one way or another, but you don't have to keep working at the Amazon warehouse if you don't want to. You don't have to. There are jobs to find in the art world. And the even better part about that is we need you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things that it's like, we need like a art version of Uncle Sam. You know what I mean? To do like the Uncle Sam
that
needs
should be you, bro. Oh, let's start it.
Damn it, why did I just do that? I just dug myself a huge hole.
Hey, listen, while we're signing you up for stuff, bro, I really feel like we need to get back to peer pressure.
Yeah,
at least bring that energy. Maybe not on a weekly type basis because that's a heavy lift.
Yeah,
but on a monthly, like just to talk and have like general culture conversations.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a really astute person. You observe shit the same way that I do.
Yeah.
Oops, we said we wasn't cussing on
here. Hey, we got one. We got two. We each got one cuss word. We're below a PG-13 movie right now.
Yeah,
so
all right, we're
cool.
Good. We're both very observant about like our culture and.
Well, I think you and me have always looked at stuff from more of a zoomed out perspective.
Exactly.
We've always looked at more of the macro.
And
side
we're
of
builders
things.
in it too. It's not like we're just critics of the culture without participating in it. Like, and we should probably, just for anybody that doesn't know, like, talk about what you do and also what ETC is.
Yeah.
And I feel like you leveled up something crazy. You know what I mean?
I started out as a hip-hop artist, and I moved into throwing shows and being a promoter, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, event
Don't
curator.
Call me a promoter.
Whatever. Yeah, I know you hate that word, but and it's ironic because you promote way better than I do.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and then I got into just actual straight-up talent buying and booking and stuff like that. So now I run all the booking for Scully's Music Diner. I run all the booking for Newark Station out in Newark, Junior's Bar and Grill, and a few other places that I cannot say yet because it's not official enough. But, yeah, so I'm in.
I remember I saw the Scully's announcement. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
It has opened my eyes, man. It has been.
How so? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I felt really stagnant before COVID because I felt like a lot of times I was the smartest dude in the room, and that's never who you want to be.
Yeah.
And now I am the lowest of the low man on the totem pole, and I'm learning again.
Bruh, same.
Yeah,
like, when I got on at the agency, that's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm learning so much. And I'm brilliant, bruh. Like, I'm really smart.
Yeah,
I know
same.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
And it's not very often that I get put in places where I'm not the smartest person in the room.
But that's also why you're glad when you're not. It's a relief. You're like, oh, my gosh, some grown-ups are around.
I've grown so much over the last year. It's crazy, bruh. Like, it's absolutely wild. I almost just cussed again, and I ran out of my quota.
The thing is I've also I'm definitely a lot more. If we started peer pressure again, I'm a lot more doom and gloom now than I used to be for sure.
Man, I'm more optimistic, so we kind of flipped in that
it's
regard.
just that I'm just acutely aware of how fragile everything is now, and like going back to what we were talking about is like if there's nobody coming up to fill the spaces of the people that are in this sector or that sector, it just goes away. And so seeing how many venues
close.
closed. But, you know, and in Columbus, actually, we got off pretty easy. There weren't even that many that closed. Other cities got hit bad, though. Cities like Dayton got hit real bad. A lot of popular places in Cincinnati got closed. But more so than just that, it's the people that kind of quit and gave up. It's the people that either moved because they couldn't pay their bills here in one way or another. But it's also just seeing that, like, ice ages can happen. I remember how hard it was convincing venues to do hip-hop shows because, well, back in 2003, we had a shooting or something like that. And we're, you know, but now seeing it's a bad side effect of people being cooped up from COVID. Audiences are far more rowdy and violent than they ever have been.
Facts.
And so there have been quite a few shootings just in the past month in Columbus at different clubs and venues, places that, like, you would never really expect to. So there's definitely still a lot of work to be done, I think, in the music culture and the live entertainment culture in Columbus, too. I think it's going to be a pretty rowdy, wild summer. But
I don't, man. I'm hopeful.
Man, I got to look at High Street every Friday and Saturday, and just what I'm seeing, dude, it's sloppy out there. It is, but I don't think that it's not like, oh, this is all going to go away or this is all dying. It's just that I'm more aware now how much of a job there is to do, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that the job is more, I don't know, it's more obvious to me. Like, I'm not going to lie. And we're not going to go into the details or whatever about everything that happened. But last summer did a number on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it did. And there was a big part that's like, all right, bro, forget Columbus. Like,
yeah.
I'm cool. And, like, I remember I started saying that to my people. And they was like, bro, if you're saying that.
It's not good.
Like, what does that mean for the rest of us?
That's not good. That's like Batman giving up on Gotham. It's not good. It's
but
not good.
while I'm Batman for Columbus?
Sure, yeah. There, I just said it. There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to make that a soundbite. No, I'm joking. But after I got over myself and I got past my feelings and all that type of stuff, I came back. It's like, all right, that's cool that you feel away. There's work to be done here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So do the work and double down and figure out how to do it. Like Orange Soda, this is an exclusive. Orange Soda's coming back.
Okay,
you know
okay.
July 2nd, I want to say. Maybe
Friday.
July 5th. 2nd. Yeah, July 2nd.
2nd is
it's a Friday. We're coming back, you know what I'm saying? And that's with the culture that we have right now. And that's after everything that happened last summer. You see
yeah.
And that just means that we have to make sure that we're executing in a different type of way. And it also means that we have to actually take the lessons that we learned last year and apply them. Like, even this right now, you know, we've been doing 614 Day for the last 7 years. This is the first time now. It's like last year it was all virtual.
Right.
Now it's in person and also virtual. It's a hybrid. So, like, that's evolution.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I think that that's the biggest call to action that I have for people is to continue to evolve. Even the idea of ETC, which I didn't talk about yet, is an evolution of what participating in the culture is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because before we came up with it, there was no place that you can go that you could immediately just tap into Columbus and find out what's going on here in the culture.
You had to know the right combination of events and who was working at what cool store and all. Like, it was a hard thing to do.
Yeah. If you had to describe ETC to somebody, like, how would you do it?
I mean, you know, I've felt like I always had the best elevator pitch for ETC.
I know, that's why I asked you.
It's a Wikipedia. It's a Wikipedia for Columbus music and art culture, basically. It's just it's a historical document. It's like a living historical document. Like, we're trying to track down and write the whole history of it as it's being written. Because, I mean, like, you know, we're coming up on the anniversary of Ness's passing as well. And, you know, I always ponder on that every summer. And, you know, just seeing there, not even really that, but there's other rappers that I know that I came up with, you know, when I moved here in like 2015, that a lot of their music you can't even find on Spotify. And it's like, you know, you'd have to scroll for hours to find where that Bandcamp link is or whatever, you know. And so just, you know, there's a reason that museums exist. There's a reason that places that want to curate things and preserve history exist. And it's like no one has thought to do that on the digital space because they just think that's what the internet is, but it's not like that anymore.
Right.
You can still lose things forever, even if they're still on the internet.
Yeah.
And so it's not as secure as people think. So, yeah, I would just say it's like part museum, part magazine.
I like that. And when I tell people about ETC, I tell them it's infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's like the roads, it's the highways,
Yeah.
it's the trains, it's the subways, how you get around the city.
It's circuitry.
Yeah, circuitry.
Yeah.
Like, we just wanted, like,
That was what always drew me to it, too. That's why I love that I'm still involved with it.
people, they come up to me all the time, even outside of ETC, and they're like, yo, what's going on in the city? Yo, what's happening right now? What's going on this weekend? Yo, I want to listen to some Columbus music.
Right.
Like, ETC just put out a 7.5-hour playlist for 614 Day of, like, all Columbus music or whatever, going back to the last, like, 15, 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, we're really just trying to make it simple. If you text ETC, you go to etcbyus.com, and that's where you can sign up to text.
Yeah.
You text ETC, like, we'll send you out updates to let you know, like, there's a show that's going on tonight, or there's a comedy event, or there's a paint and sip, or, you know what I mean? Like, just let you know about all this stuff. It's the friend that knows about everything that's going on in the city.
Right.
It's now a uniform. It's a universal type thing that anybody could tap into. And that's really just the beginning point of it, because we're building on it. We have some really big dreams and visions on what this could become. And it's part of the reason why we're so excited and happy.
Right.
Exappy. We're so exappy to continue to be part of 614 Day and to grow this initiative and everything as well, because it really was born out of a pure and fundamental love of Columbus and what Columbus has the potential to be, and what Columbus has the potential to offer out to anybody that's here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The one thing I'll say, and the one thing I would want to, because I feel like we're getting close on time, the one thing I want to encourage people from Columbus to do is what I've noticed in the music scene. Columbus had such impressive lineups and so many shows for so long that when any Columbus artists would go out of town and perform, they were easily in the top 2-3 people on the lineup just because of what they had to get through when they were here. And Columbus is a great incubator for art. It is a very competitive, in a healthy way, I think, place for creativity and stuff like that. But I also feel like that's why it's up to a lot of people from Columbus to be leaders statewide. A lot of events that have started in Columbus are now going to be branching out to different cities. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that they have a 513 day in Cincinnati. I don't think they have a 216 day. Oh, do they?
216, no, they don't have one up there, but they have a 513 down there. It's not like 614 Day, though.
Well, well, I'm just saying, I think that it is time for people from Columbus to, start kind of putting flags down in other cities too, and showing how we do it here.
That's facts.
And start thinking about things on more of a statewide level, because, there's no reason we shouldn't be collabing with more people outside of cities if they only live 2 hours away. You know what I mean? 2 hours
away.
That's
the type of energy I'm on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've done enough here in Columbus.
Yeah, same.
And that doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it. It just means that as I look to grow, it's like I'm growing in other markets.
Well, and Columbus is not a bad place to live. Like, as a city and just a place to live, Columbus is pretty great. It's like,
For black people, it's a little different, but I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
The old Malcolm's back, everybody. The old Malcolm is back.
So,
at least you didn't single-handedly blame me for all the troubles of black people in Columbus, though, because that would have been a real old Malcolm thing to do.
We're going to bring that energy back to the Peer Pressure podcast whenever we get that back up and going. But no, we really just wanted to kick off the 614 Day live stream just to talk about like where we were before the pandemic and also where we're going. Because like, outside is back open. Like, the future is back here.
Very much.
And it's what did you learn like over the last year? Where are we going to go? And I think that we need to just be honest and real about that. Be aware of the challenges and also not be afraid to have imagination to create and keep going or whatever. And one thing I love about this city is that it is a resilient city.
Right.
And if nothing else, that's something that we've proven really since our existence. So.
I will say this, though. I want people to leave the past in the past in some regards. And I want to see this be a city of forgiveness as well, and people coming back together. I know COVID drove a lot of people apart for a lot of very valid and good reasons on one side or another. However, it's not like that was how the rest of history was going to be in that. So now that things are not back to normal, but back to a more acceptable place and safer for people, then we should start acting that way in our hearts as well and try to open up to people more and you know, kind of like buries some of the. There's just a lot of petty fights.
Oh,
you know, there's a lot of just arguments. Everybody's
trying
emotional.
to go for a whole nother hour, bro.
Well, I'm just saying, there was a lot of. It was easy to be negative when you're all cooped up at home. You don't really get to see anybody. Internet makes everybody more bold. You know what I mean? It's harder to really have those same arguments in person when it's real human to human stuff. So that's all I'm saying. Let's get back to humanity. Let's get back to talking face to face. Let's get off our phones.
And don't be afraid of those conversations that Trevor's having, though.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Just have them in person. Like
exactly. That's what I want.
Let's just move forward, like for real, not that fake placating stuff. Like let's actually move forward. Let's talk about
and let's come down on one side of the issue or another too. You know what I mean? I want to see that as well.
So for the rest of the day, we're gonna be here in the AT&T studios. This is probably I'm gonna be back here a little bit later. But we're gonna be live streaming. It's gonna be lots of different people coming through, a lot of different conversations that we're having. But yeah, if you're here in the city, if you're free, come down and kick it with us at Seventh Son and Bud Dairy. Tons of local food, local drinks, local vendors, local initiatives. It's a great community event and the perfect way to celebrate this beautiful city that I love to call home. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it out to Jacob, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you for having me.
Visit etcbys.com.
Do it.
Powder.
Powder. This is Chris Jones with Warhol and Wall Street, and I'm here with Yogi, also with Warhol and Wall Street and Columbus Fashion Alliance. And we are here for this hour interviewing some of our favorite friends, moments, and we're just going to talk about some things that we're all excited about, including with our great friends here, Experience Columbus. And so I'm going to dive in because we're here for an hour, and there's a lot of information we think that you're going to want to know.
A lot of visitors coming in.
A lot of visitors coming into the city.
We got to get our residents out and visitors coming in.
Yeah, let me slow down a little bit. Happy 614 Day, a day to celebrate Columbus, a day I'm going to throw it out there, a day that we hope becomes a holiday for the city. But
we want to give everybody the day off.
We want to give everybody the day off, but we want to start with you celebrating and coming down here with us at Seven Sun and Bud Dairy as well. We're going to be here till about 8 or 9 o'clock. Music, food. Bud Dairy is open today. It's a Monday. They're usually not open, but they're open for 614 Day. So that's the power of this day. There's plenty of people doing other things around the city. This is one of those hubs that you can come celebrate the city, celebrate life, and celebrate, what's next, So with that, we are here with the Experience Columbus team.
That's right. Experience Columbus
Sarah,
is in the house.
Lexi, tell us, who are you first? Of course, people know Experience Columbus, but tell us a little bit more about that, your organization, and what you're hoping to do.
That's great. Yeah, so I am Sarah Towns. I'm the VP of Marketing at Experience Columbus, and this is
Lexi Sweet. I'm PR Manager at Experience Columbus.
And we are so excited to be here with, it is really the summer to live in Columbus. It's the time for our residents to get out and just rediscover the city that we all love so much. We have visitors coming through, whether that's visiting friends and relatives, coming in for some of the great events that are coming up later this summer. So, really this is our opportunity to show what Columbus is all about. The amazing culture and diversity and food, fashion, entertainment, all the great things that we have to offer. So thank you so much for letting us be here with you guys.
Yes, and if I could say, we had the pleasure of working with you.
Yes.
Right? So,
of course.
Warhol and Wall Street has been blessed with the opportunity to help tell our city's story, and Experience Columbus, thank you guys for giving us that opportunity. And we're really excited about what's about to come out. We have some really great things that are going to do exactly what you said, like promote the culture, the people, the food, the fashion. So stay tuned for that, right? Stay tuned for that. You talked about live forward, right? Or the summer to live. That's what you talked about,
summer
right?
to live.
Yeah, summer to live. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. So, coming out of this global pandemic, we are all ready to get out and live our lives again. Live Forward is really our campaign for our city that just lets us showcase all the great things that we were just talking about. The subcultures, some of the lesser known hidden gems of Columbus, the amazing people that have chosen to make Columbus their home. So it's a ton of content that we have to share, and we hope that it really encourages our residents and visitors coming in to truly get out and experience Columbus, what Lexi and I are here for.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I'm going to let y'all do your thing.
Thanks, Yogi.
With that, Lexi, I've had the opportunity to talk to work out some influencer trips or just even activate some of our great and awesome people here that are already in the city, and it's the reason why people love us when they come here. Can you tell us just about some of those experiences and just what people are hoping, what we hope that they'll experience when they come here, and the diversity of places that we're getting them to?
Sure. So one of the things that we talk about all the time is that Columbus truly has something for everyone, which sometimes sounds a little cliche on the surface, but when you get here, you truly understand no matter what you're coming for, whether it's a family trip or whether you're coming to experience the outdoors or whether it's some of our great attractions or our food or our fashion. And that's something when we bring people into the city, people don't really know what to expect about Columbus. They know we're in Ohio. They probably have heard about the Ohio State Buckeyes, go Bucks, we love them. But there's so much more to do here, and people always leave saying, I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to plan another trip. I couldn't believe your fashion scene, or I couldn't believe your art scene. I couldn't believe the amazing food I had. And that's really one of my favorite things about what I do is talking to people after they visited Columbus for the first time.
That's so awesome. So speaking of that, it could be from people who visited. It could be from you all or Experience Columbus. What's some of Columbus's best kept secrets, or cheap plug for some of the videos that we have coming out maybe, or what are just some of your favorite moments that you've had over the past year? So that's 2 questions. It's loaded, but both. Favorite, best kept secret, and then just favorite moment coming out of this past year.
Okay, I will start with best kept secret, and I will say the fashion scene, because it's pretty low key. People really don't realize how much comes out of Columbus and comes through Columbus, whether that's because we're a big logistics hub or because we have these great art education places like CCAD and the fashion design program at Ohio State. So whether you're a fashion designer just starting out, a boutique, or you work at one of the big name brands here, there's so much experience no matter your level. And then my favorite thing from last year is just seeing people get out and, start to rediscover some of the outdoor adventures here in Columbus, myself included, all of the parks and gardens and trails that we have, those neighborhood walks, and just, saying hi to your neighbors as you pass down the street. So I've loved that.
And I would say a good thought there on the fashion scene. Obviously, really vibrant arts community here in Columbus, which people don't always know. But I would have to say our food here in Columbus, and not just, kind of the things that you might see immediately whenever you Google best food in Columbus, although those are all really great as well. But there is so much diversity here in our neighborhoods, and each of our neighborhoods has something really unique to offer as it relates to culture, but our food kind of, and how our food is expressed within that. So not only that, but that dovetails really nicely into all the neighborhoods that we have in their close proximity with one another. I've lived in other cities before. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived outside of LA, in Atlanta. Everything here is so accessible, and you can be in German Village or in the Arena District or in the Short North Arts District or the Franklinton District, King Lincoln District, in a matter of minutes from one another, and not every city can say that. So that's been really awesome for me to get to know about Columbus even more as a resident here and explore. Let's see, favorite moment, that is a loaded question because there have been a lot. I have, in our seat, we have the opportunity to work with close to 1,000 partners in kind of various categories, shop, dine, stay, play. And I have absolutely loved seeing our partners really pivot their business models and do things differently to support the residents and getting people out to still experience their great brands, their great stores, their amazing restaurants, breweries, etc., but in unique ways. And it's really cool because as we go forward, yes, absolutely, everybody come down and be part of the culture of your favorite local restaurant or pub. But also there's more options for carry out or how you experience some of those favorite places. So I've loved not only hearing that, but being able to showcase that on all of our marketing channels for Experience Columbus. And all of this great information, because this is my plug, Chris, all this great information is available to you on experiencecolumbus.com. So it's a great resource and encourage everybody to check it out.
That's perfect. Yes, experiencecolumbus.com. That if you didn't hear it the first time. We have a lot of exciting things coming, a lot of exciting content, and just a lot of engagement for you this summer and beyond. So definitely check that out and just look out for it. So on that, last thoughts on the summer to live.
Yeah.
And really being able to live for it. Like if you could tell everyone like what you're looking forward to just through people, but like through this campaign and really being able to let people experience the city, but through the people.
Yeah.
And what that means to you.
Absolutely. What we really did try to do in some of the content that we created in partnership with Warhol on Wall Street is encourage people to experience different facets of the city, or again, I go back to, we've used the word the culture and the diversity of the city, maybe in ways that they haven't before. So if you go to our website and you look at the videos, underneath each one of those are itineraries of places that are featured within that content that you can actually get out and go to and see for yourself how cool it is. And I guarantee if you go one place, you're going to find a bunch of stuff around it to experience as well. So really excited to be able to partner with you guys and create that content and hope everybody really enjoys it. So that's what it means to us. It is about our people and the experiences that you can really only find in Columbus. And I'll let Lexi answer too.
Yeah, so I would just say, it's not just Experience Columbus telling you that. We often get looked to as experts, and we would like to believe that we are, but these are truly recommendations from the people who are living these itineraries in their everyday life, who are part of these subcultures within our community. So, we have adventure enthusiasts, we have food enthusiasts, we have fashion enthusiasts. So they're the people who are giving these recommendations, and I just think that that is really special, and you can not only get to know some different parts of the community, but also different people in the community through that.
So there it is. This is the summer to live. We are out here today. Come and join us. 7 Sun, Bud Dairy. We're activating. We've got music. We've got food. We've just got great people. Through that summer to live, you're going to see so much from Experience Columbus, and I thank you so much for stopping by and telling us about it, and we look forward to what's next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like Kung Fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. If you ever need a helper, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. And when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just want it. Yeah, I just wanna. You're my dream, but I just want it. From the start, you my bunny, I'm your Clark. From now to eternity, I give you all my heart. We are meant to be, it's clear to see. My love is bigger than I thought. I got everything I want when I hold you with my arms. Yeah, this don't matter, my love and my pleasure, the key to my treasure. Whatever's the weather, day up and out with you till I die. How many times for you I'ma try? Want you to notice the one and I know this perfect soulmate. I wanna show it my best friend. She saved my life, my happy end in hard times.
Find the perfect song for your video in 5 seconds. Go to Artlist.
feel paralyzed.
We're back in the Warhol and Wall Street Hour at 614 Day. Again, come down. We are here until 9 o'clock. We're doing it. We have music. We've got the food. Bud Dairy's open. We're active and we're live in the Short North and surrounding districts. And I am here with Betsy Pandora,
hello,
the queen of the Short North.
Oh, you're too generous.
And the guide and leader of the experiences and all the activation that happens here, from the art that you see to the business support and the things that are curated throughout this district. How are you?
I'm so well. How are
awesome.
you?
I am good. I am good. I'm happy to be here on this 614 Day.
I know. I'm so glad we're doing it. I remember this time last year we were talking about 614 Day, and I was, leading operations from the Short North in my basement.
Yeah.
And we had to do it all virtually. So it's amazing to be able to do this.
And to do this in person and have it just keep growing. And now we're in 2 locations, and then we're going to be throughout the whole Short North.
Absolutely.
And everybody's going to do 614
We're taking
Day.
it over.
And then it's going to be a holiday. We're going to keep talking about that. Tell us who you are for those who don't know, and just a little bit about the Short North and, things that you all have going on.
Sure. Well, I'm a short lady whose feet don't touch the ground. That's what I actually am right now.
There was hydraulics on the chair,
and they're
but
gone.
they broke. So it's our fault.
No, you're fine. So my name's Betsy Pandora, and I lead an organization called the Short North Alliance. And we get involved in anything from supporting the local and small business community that occupies so much of High Street and beyond in the Short North Arts District, to helping as an advocate, to leading really fun and innovative projects. We do lots of public art projects in the neighborhood. We plan big events. We help with parking. We help with all kinds of other great visitor-focused things that help businesses and help the community members as they experience the neighborhood. We sort of touch it all, and we're a great group that just cares so much about our community here. And it really, I can't understate how amazing it is to be sitting with you right now, because we haven't been able to do this as a community in over a year, and we need this, right? So it's just my pleasure to be able to participate with you guys today.
And it's our pleasure to have you. Tell us about Short North. There's so much movement, so many new places, so many new things. What are some of your, I won't say favorites because you can't play favorites, but what are some of the new experiences that people can have when they come to the Short North?
Absolutely. I think right now, rediscovering our community is something that so many people want to be doing, and we need them to be doing. The pandemic has had a profound and a sweeping impact, not just on our business community, but just on the way that we live our lives. It's changed people's habits, right? So what I would charge anyone to do is just get out and rediscover what you haven't been able to experience in so long, because a lot of what we have seen is that there's a lot of new faces. Even though there's almost all of the same existing businesses are here, they've had so much change in labor force and turnover that there are a lot of new faces. So it's really about restitching those relationships, and it's probably the new thing that you would experience is your new, favorite person is now leading something or doing something at your old favorite business, if that makes sense. But it is such a powerful place in the life of our city, and so much has happened in this community over the last year. And if you reflect on the profound calls for social justice action and then the calls to action for helping and supporting local businesses, even, you just see that on High Street, right? This is where people come to voice those concerns and to elevate things, and it's a really incredible and powerful place because of that.
That's so awesome. I'm going to skip ahead to the call to action a little bit and then go backwards. Okay, cool. But for people coming to Short North, what are it doesn't have to be 3, but top 3 things that they can do to support the district? Absolutely. And for businesses who want to be here and want their businesses to grow in the Short North District, what are the top 3 things they can do besides renting?
That's right.
Course, including renting.
The number one thing that you can be doing to support local businesses is support local businesses. And we've actually rolled out some new programs as an organization to help people support local businesses. The first is a new gift card program called District Dollars, where if you purchase that gift card, you can use it at many businesses in the district that are participating, and then a share of the proceeds from the sales of those gift cards go back to support the community. which is a double benefit, right? We also have a new rewards program. So if you make a purchase at one business, you can go to a participating business and show your receipt and get a reward, whether it's a discount or a gift or an extra freebie or something like that. Just because it has been the local community that has kept our businesses going through the life of the pandemic, and it's going to be the local community that works extra hard, we think, to help build them back. And then our creative community here in the Short North is as sort of a must-see, must-hit thing, whether that is all of the incredible independent art galleries who are supporting the livelihoods of artists through the sale of their work every single day, or the incredible events and public art activations that we help to lead or that you could just experience passively when you're visiting the district. I mean, it's one of my favorite things about this community, how you can have those relationships with art in such a friendly and approachable way. And it's something that truly drives and inspires the people that have chosen to locate here and lead that effort. And then if you want to get involved, you can reach out to our organization by visiting shortnorth.org, and we can help play a role in connecting you with places that are available. There is some vacancy right now. That's a byproduct of the pandemic. But also we can help you network with other businesses from a mentorship standpoint and an education standpoint. And that's probably one of the most special things about the Short North and really this entire, in the surrounding neighborhoods, the business community. They really are so collaborative. I mean, the fact that we're doing this right here with Seventh Son and how they're opening up their parking lot to so many different people, it is one of the most special things about the district.
That's perfect. That's so perfect. So with that, speaking of, Short North, if you're a business coming or if you're someone coming just to support, in reflection of like the energy coming, what was one of your most favorite things that came out of the last year and a half or so? I know it's been a rough one. It's been, full of ups and downs. We were a Short North resident and we still are, supporters. But like, what's one of the favorite things that did come out of it?
I think that there is a new appreciation for what it means to be a part of the community and the way that people have, I think, bent over backwards to help each other or innovated through this incredibly overwhelming circumstance has probably been one of the most inspiring things. The things that we used to sort of complain about, I think we take for granted. And I think things that maybe our community would have felt inflexible on or felt petty about, like, those aren't the issues that are bubbling up anymore. It really is about getting back to each other and creating this place where people can feel welcome and where you just want to be a part of that community again. So I know that's kind of a high level, potentially lofty answer to a specific question, but it has really given people a moment to reflect. Yeah. And I think that we've reflected in a good way.
Yeah, I think so too. And no, I think that was a good answer because it leads me to or the things you've heard from residents or members. What's one of Columbus's or Short North's best kept secrets?
Ooh.
Even coming out, if it's new, if it's old, if it's what's one of those best kept secrets or a list of, if you can't just point to one.
How do I figure that out? What do I say? I think well, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say our best kept secret is that there's plentiful parking. You should never have any issues there because there really is more than ever, and it's easy. I think the best kept secret is what you have yet to discover, honestly. Like, you can always have a new and surprising and unique experience on High Street, whether that's with somebody that you meet, somebody that ultimately will return and visit through here as, our convention center begins to be populated again, or somebody who's finding their way to High Street through the university because Ohio State is so close and it is a huge gateway for people. It really is this place where you are constantly discovering something new. And I think there's like a pattern that we fall into sometimes as being Columbus people or these local people where it's like, oh, we know this, or we become sort of, expert in all of these things. But every single time I walk down High Street, there is something brand new that I find out. And I'm there every single day. So the options have to be limitless for somebody else visiting.
I don't even want to give you like a last thought or something. That sounded like a last thought. But if you want to just tell people something to look forward to or one last call to action, like what would it be on how they can experience one life in this, besides coming down to 614 Day today, of course, but life and the district, like what would it be?
Well, I mean, the Short North just is that kind of quintessential place in Columbus, right? We often say it's the art and soul of the city. And we do that because in many ways the district is this like breeding ground for creative activity. I mean, so many businesses have launched careers here. So many people have launched livelihoods here. And they may go other places. There may be this ebb and flow. But at the end of the day, the Short North Arts District and High Street, the surrounding community and neighborhoods, they are the embodiment of what 614 Day is all about, what this kind of essence of the city is about. And I just continue to think that that's so very special. So I hope that people keep being excited to want to participate in this event and being excited to rediscover the city that we've been kept from for a little while.
You heard it from Betsy herself. Rediscover the city, live forward through experience Columbus and the whole city. But just get out as you can and really support these local businesses, support the city, and, you know, embrace everything that Columbus has to offer. That's the spirit of 614 Day, and thank you so much, Betsy, for stopping by.
Thank you,
We look
Chris.
forward to working with you on some many new projects that we have
got so
working
much.
together. And we're excited, and we love having you by.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
We'll be right back.